Welcome back to the Football Experience. Today we're joined with Luke, and
Hello, how are you doing?
We're just going to get straight into the preview. The reactions. So the first game was Man City versus Spurs, which was a 3-0 win to City. What did you guys think of the game?
Yeah, I think it was kind of expected. I don't remember exactly what we predicted, but I'm pretty sure everyone predicted a Man City win last week.
Yeah.
Possibly a little bit closer than 3-0. But
yeah, I've predicted 3-2 last week.
Yeah, on another day, Spurs because they got a counter-attack goal here or there, I guess. But Man City they outclassed them really. I think. What do you think, Luke?
Yeah, no. City are just they're one of the only teams to stay consistent throughout this whole season, and they are doing very well at the minute. Spurs, they're not. I don't know what's happening with them, but they're a good team. They've got good players. They've shown what they can do when they play fully and they play to their best ability. Just wasn't their day, I don't think. And Man City, Gundogan's on a different sort of level.
Yeah, it's got another two.
Yeah.
Do you think that'll have a massive impact with him? I don't know how long he's injured for or anything, but I know he went off, and I don't think he's going to play this weekend.
No, I don't think he is. Yeah.
What sort of impact do you think that'll have on Man City?
I don't think it'll have a big as impact as what people think. I think he's a big part of the team now, but he hasn't been over the last year. They've been able to do well without very well playing Gundogan playing for them. They've still got a lot of depth in their team anyway, so
yeah, I think they do have backups that can sort of take his place, and I don't think it'll make too much of a difference. I agree with that. He's the player in form, and it's never ideal to get them injured, but
like Mahrez only came on in 79th minute, so they've still got good players on the bench and stuff.
That's the thing, they're playing Foden out wide, aren't they, at the moment? Half the time. So Foden could easily just slot into that midfield spot and put Mahrez and Sterling or whatever. I think it's fairly easy fix. They got Ferran Torres who could play there. Yeah, I don't think it'll be too much of an issue.
No. I think it definitely be. I was just about to say. I think it definitely be noticed that he's not there, but I don't think it will be. A big issue.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah. So the next game we talk about is Leicester versus Liverpool, which was a 3-1 win to Leicester. Sorry. What did you guys expect? Expect Leicester to have won this one, or?
I wouldn't say it's actually it's not a massive surprise with Liverpool's current form. They're really shaky defensively. The fact that Henderson's having to play centre back is not ideal because I think he brings a lot more to the midfield than people realise. And although they're also missing a centre back, they're also then missing a centre mid almost, and it's really showing. Obviously, Van Dijk is a massive part of their team, but I think it's just sort of everything that comes with Van Dijk not being there that's the main issue.
Yeah, it is kind of funny though to look at if you just look at Liverpool's team and then you look at Leicester's team, and the fact that Leicester's team's able to win the matches.
Yeah.
It's like Albrighton, just.
It is unreal. Albrighton, you don't see him sort of do too much. Too many special things in the game, but he's just solid, and that's what they work with. They work with solid players who can do a job, and on their day they can always win a game. So
Jamie Vardy with a goal as well.
Yeah. He's always dangerous, isn't he? I didn't quite know how he's still doing it at his age, quite to the extent that he is. But no. The thing is though, I was going to ask what you thought, because obviously Vardy wasn't there for a little bit of the season before this. He had, I think it was, at least a few weeks out. I can't remember exactly how long, but they were actually still getting results during that time. How do you think they managed that? With their backups like Ian Acho is shaky at most. How do you think they're actually managing to
it kind of shows the talent of Brendan Rodgers though, to be able to still be winning games when if you look at his team compared to all the other even the other top 5 teams, and the difference between players is it's like mental how different they are, and they're still able to win games.
Yeah,
it's impressive.
I think they've got a lot of good players coming through as well. Obviously, Fofana looks very good. Justin looks very good. Their defense is increasing and it's getting a lot better every week. And I think that's what it was in the Liverpool game. Like Liverpool's defense just ain't there without Van Dijk.
Yeah,
it shows what it's like.
I think it's that you could, just because you mentioned Justin, like the fact that he's got an ACL at such a young age, like with that sort of injury, when they come back after such a long time, like will they ever get back to that standard? Almost is one of the things that you always look at.
The thing is, like, it's a thing you look at, but then if he does come back and he does do very well, then it shows he's got class about him.
Yeah, 100%.
Like,
100%.
If he comes back and does very well, then I can see a big team snatching him up. I'm not saying Leicester isn't a big team because they are, but I can see a very big team snatching him up because he is just class. Whenever I've seen him play,
he's just so versatile as well. Like he can play he can play either side. He can probably even play on the wings if he needs to. Centre back, I'd imagine he could play in a lot of positions, like from the way he plays. And that's great to have in a player.
Yeah, very good player. It's just with ACL, you never know. How it will affect that player.
ACL can muck up someone's career instantly. Once it happens, they can't help it.
Yeah.
So
the next game we're going to talk about is Southampton versus Wolves. That was a 2-1 win to Wolves after such a good start as well to put it up 1-0.
I have a feeling Jamie predicted that.
I think he did, because he said that if he's wrong, then because we've got to win.
Don't tell him that.
He just wanted to make himself feel better.
Don't tell him that.
No, but on the real, like, it's not a massive surprise. Saints have been shaky recently. It's just how it is. Wolves, I mean, they haven't been great either, to be honest. But one thing that they have had is, the attacking talent of Neto.
Yeah.
He's really sort of getting them out of this bad patch whilst Jimenez is out.
That goal by Neto was pure class. The fact that he's got it in from that angle.
Yeah. It was unreal.
It's pure class. Danny Ings' goal was class as well.
Yeah, Danny Ings' goal was very good. The penalty decisions. What do you think about Do you think they should have been penalties, or do you think one of them should have won them out?
My reaction was, I don't think the first one was a penalty, but then when I looked at the second one, I don't think it should have been a penalty either because it's sort of the same situation. They both shouldn't have been penalties, but if you're going to give one for the first one, then you can't really say no to the second one because they're sort of the same sort of things. And Bertrand's one, he couldn't have done anything about it. He was trying to move his hands out the way and trying to show us back to the ball.
The only issue with the one against Saints that I have is I'm pretty sure someone was in front of it. I'm not sure exactly who, but I remember watching it. Someone was in front of the ball and he ducked, and therefore it went onto his arm. Like this guy ducked in front of his arm, and I don't know. I don't think either of them were just to get it out there. Neither of them were penalties, but I think I wouldn't say I think it's fairly self-explanatory. Neither of them should be penalties, but I don't think that one was necessarily worse than the Saints one.
No.
Yeah, it's quite interesting how with VAR they don't seem to be using the screens much. Like the
it's weird.
Yeah, you would have thought, because at the end of the day, as much as fans will complain if it wastes time, the most important thing is that you get the right decisions.
I'd rather it be right. That's the thing, though. People are complaining too much about that, so they're trying to work around that as well. But then, like, just watching sort of some of the cup games where they didn't have VAR. Like some of the decisions that aren't made because it's not there, that would have been if it was. Like I still think it's worth having, even if that obviously they need to change it in some way because it's not perfect, but I think they just need to be more clear with what they're sort of trying to do with it, because they're saying, "Oh, clear and obvious decision. That's that's when it should be overturned," but I don't think half the ones that are given are clear and obvious.
No. Yeah, because what's the definition of clear and obvious?
That's the thing; it changes, and therefore, where do you really go with that information? Like,
because consistency is the annoying thing for me.
Yeah, when your shoulder's offside and it's given them, that's not really clear and obvious.
It's difficult because it's offside, yes, but it's not clear and obvious. Like they need to just be more clear with the rule of that, I think. So that's my personal opinion. But,
no, definitely.
But then again, I guess VAR hasn't been around for like a ridiculous amount of time, so in time, hopefully, it will.
I think it's definitely a good thing for the future because we do need it in football. They just need to try and make their decisions a bit more. They just need. It's difficult because if the people in the VAR booth can't make a decision, and the ref has to make a decision, then it's not clear and obvious. Because if it was clear and obvious, then they would have been able to make a decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they just need to clear up the rules on it so that it's not so debatable on every decision. But yeah. Anyway, on to the last reaction.
Chelsea, Newcastle. It was 2-0 Chelsea, that one. Yeah. What did you think about that game, though?
Yeah, I think it was a pretty standard performance. Like we weren't incredible, but it's just one of those sort of get the job done sort of performances. A win's a win. 2-0. It's Newcastle weren't great. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So Maximin was pocketed the whole game, and he's their most influential player. Therefore, they didn't really sort of actually get out of their box much. Like they sat back, they tried to do their thing, and it just didn't work. I think.
Yeah, I just looked. You had 18 shots in that match as well.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure about sort of half time we had 70% possession as well.
Yeah, so 65% possession in the match.
Yeah, that's the end one. So it's yeah. It was one of those sort of games. There's not much to talk about in all fairness because it's kind of went the way you'd expect it to go.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. Are you happy with Giroud's performance?
Yeah, I've really mixed feelings about him because our team really relies on a striker that's quite mobile and can work with the wingers. And obviously that's literally the opposite of Giroud. Which is a bit of an issue. But at the end of the day, if he gets goals, there is only so much you can sort of have a go at him for.
If he gets goals, he gets goals.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't start against Saints, even though Abraham's injured. But it's either Giroud up front or Werner up front, essentially.
Who would you personally put up front if you had choice?
I think I would definitely I would start Werner, but then because Giroud's still a good sort of option off the bench, a very good option off the bench. And let's be honest, crossing it into Giroud isn't the best option against a team like Saints with the height in their defence.
Yeah.
So
I just know whenever Giroud plays against Saints, he always just destroys us.
Yeah. In fact, whilst we're let's merge it onto the Chelsea Saints game.
Yeah. Okay.
What's your prediction for that?
Mine's 3-1 Chelsea. I think we'll get a goal, but I just don't have faith that we'll be able to defend.
Mine was 4-1 Chelsea.
Oh, really?
I just got a notification through just saying that Walker Peters has been ruled out for the game.
Oh yeah, he's definitely
yeah.
Or Jack Stevens at right back.
Oh, see, I wouldn't even put.
I know. Mikey was speaking about the fact that you could go to 5 at the back with Gineppo and right wing back.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything like that, so I can't really comment. But
I just don't think they don't seem to want to change the whole system.
It is a bit of a massive change to make for one game. Like, you don't want it to affect the team overall. They're probably better off just honestly. For you, I'd probably just play Kane Ramsey and risk it, and just hope that he has a good game.
This is why I don't get why we got rid of Jan Valery on loan. It just doesn't really make sense to get rid of our only backup right back.
Yeah.
I hope that Bertrand has a very good game though, because his head went down after that last performance. He wasn't the same player after that penalty he gave away.
You went right back.
It's going to be a difficult game for him because of the way we play.
No.
Like, we play with on that side where if Hudson Odoi is right wing back, like, them two just overlap each other, and it's difficult for a lot of defenders to deal with. So he's going to have a tough game.
Yeah. Didn't Bertrand get moved over to right back in the Wolves game? So they moved him over.
I think he did. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
Who was left back then?
What's his name?
I'm just trying to think who they moved over to left back. Salisu go left back.
Because they brought Salisu on, and I think they put him at left back. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Do you think that could happen again, or is that not?
Could do, but
I prefer
I'd
that
rather
than
see
Kane Ramsey.
Bertrand. I'd rather see Bertrand at left back and maybe just play Salisu at right back. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see what you do there. To be fair.
Definitely.
On to the next reaction.
Liverpool versus Everton.
Preview, sorry. Yeah. I predicted 2-2 for this one. I think it'll be Liverpool aren't in the best form, as we spoke about. Everton actually aren't either. But I think where it's sort of a derby game, and it'll be a bit not heated because there's no fans involved, but like, I can see it being a close game, and I can see there being goals, but not sort of one team running away with it, to be honest. Anyone else's prediction?
Yeah, I'm going for a 0-0 on this one. I just can't. I feel like it's just gonna be one of those games.
I've gone for 3-2 Everton.
Okay.
Really? I think there'll be goals because Salah's on the pitch at the end of the day. Like,
isn't Calvert-Lewin out for the game? Isn't he?
He's been out up until now. I don't know when he's coming back, but Richarlison got a goal the other day. He's been playing on front instead. I think it's a difficult one to predict with the current sort of situations for both teams, really. Two of their most important players on each team, and it's like difficult to go with that one.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I just feel like it's gonna be one of those games where just nothing happens.
Fair enough.
So let's move on to Arsenal versus City. What prediction have you gone for, Louis? I've
gone for 4-2 City, which is a weird one, but like, I can see Arsenal getting a couple goals. Like, they have some good players at the moment. They're in form. Saka's playing well. Aubameyang not so much, but he's still Aubameyang. Like, he can still get goals, and City obviously are just so good at the moment that they will also get goals from different places. I can see City winning it, obviously, but I think Arsenal will put up a fight.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a 2-1 City win. I can't see City losing to Arsenal, to be honest, but I can see Arsenal putting in a good performance. Luke, what's your prediction?
I think it's going to be 2-1 to City as well. I think Saka will get the goal for Arsenal. I think he'll continue his run of form. I think they'll put up a very good performance and surprise a lot of people. But Man City are just too good at the moment. The fact that they've got multiple goal scorers in their team will just be too much for Arsenal, I think.
Saka's had a really good season. I think he's probably one of the best things that's happened for Arsenal for a while, to be honest. Just him
Yeah.
coming through.
Well, definitely. Not just Arsenal, but for England as well.
Yeah. You think he should get a chance to?
I'd like to see him get it.
I think he'd definitely be in if he was playing left back still. That's the sad thing, but
yeah.
I don't know. On the wing, who do you see him getting in ahead of? Is the issue?
Yeah, that's the thing, because we got England have got a very good attack, I'd say. Better defense,
especially on the wings. Like we've got. I mean, if you're looking at natural left wingers, Rashford plays there, Sterling plays there. Although they can play on the other side, that's their position.
Sancho.
Well, where does he actually fit in?
Because he's not going to get in ahead of Rashford, Sancho, or Sterling.
No.
Or Michael Brighton.
Yeah.
What a guy.
What a player. No, he won't be any of them into the team. No way. Because all them three players are in a good form as well.
I still think he should get a chance, even if they put him at left back.
Definitely a chance.
I think he'll get taken.
Yeah.
I think
a different option at least.
Yeah.
Last preview, Man United Newcastle.
I'm going for a 2-0 United win on this one.
I've gone 3-0.
I went 3-0 as well.
Yeah. I think it's, you know what Newcastle are like I was saying against Chelsea. They could pull it out, you never know, but they're just such a...
My thought about the game is, I don't think Newcastle will play amazingly. It depends whether Man U show up or not.
Yeah, I think they will just sit back, and I think after watching the Chelsea game, they didn't do anything right defensively. They just need to literally set up that wall. As much as I hate watching it, that's how they have to play it to have any chance.
Yeah,
I think it all depends on whether Ollie plays Lindelof and Maguire at the back again. I think that they're one of the worst, probably the worst centre-back pairing in the league. As far as it goes, playing together, I think if Bailly was swapped for one of the players, then I think it'd be all right. But,
then again, the issue with that is, the only thing is I don't actually see Newcastle getting in too many positions where they can even test that.
Callum Wilson's still out.
Yeah, so they'll be playing, Joe Linton or Dwight Gale or someone like that. The thing is,
everyone said this stuff about Sheffield United and stuff like that, and they still managed to beat them.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. But
yeah,
I guess that's what I'm saying. It could happen in some fucking universe, but I can't see it.
I can't see it happening this weekend, but I don't know.
Yeah,
Bruno will probably perform again, but
yeah, Bruno will. He seems to always put in a good performance.
Yeah.
Let's go on the Champions League, shall we?
Yeah.
PSG versus Barcelona.
First of all, I want to say Dembele needs to sort his striking out.
Yeah, he's a good player, but he's just, I don't know, he's not in the best form, I guess you could say, but I think the whole thing was revolving around Messi, and Messi didn't turn up, really.
He didn't show any interest in turning up, though, to be honest. He didn't show any interest in running for the ball or nothing. He gave up.
You see that clip of them passing it around, and he's just sort of stood there. You see a young striker, they're pressing every ball then. But
yeah, I mean, he had a fantastic penalty. It was a quality pen, got the goal, and then Mbappe went down the other end and scored, and it just went sideways from there.
Do you think Messi actually is sort of in the thought process of, he's already left in his head, and therefore he doesn't?
I think so. I think it's because once he knew it was 4-1, he knew that the Champions League's over for him again.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to. I know they've done it before against PSG, but it's going to be hard to come back from that result away from home.
It's kind of funny though how you got 2 ex-Saints managers.
Yeah, literally.
That is weird.
Yeah.
In terms of Messi again, and Ronaldo, obviously Juve lost to Porto. With Messi and Ronaldo, like obviously they are slowing down. You know, they're still playing alright in the league and stuff. But do you think sort of they're passing the baton on to Haaland and Mbappe? That's the 2 players in form this week specifically. But you know, Haaland's record is ridiculous. Mbappe's, you know, he's just such a good player. Them 2 look to be the sort of next 2 players to take those 2 spots. Maybe not to their level. You don't know yet. But do you think them 2 are the 2 to sort of take their sort of Ballon d'Or competition over?
I don't know, because you don't know with football. Like we were talking about earlier, one of them could get an ACL injury and it could be all over for him. And you never know, someone like within a year, even like Saka, I don't think it will, but even like Saka or Joe Felix or something like that, they might just edge their way just a bit forward and they might improve tremendously and start scoring a load of goals. I think Haaland and Mbappe are definitely the front runnings of this race to be the next GOATs or what you call it.
Yeah, I think as well, people like a lot of times people forget how old Messi and Ronaldo actually are, and like they have done very well to be the best player, like arguably the best player, you know, for such a long period of time as well.
Yeah,
I think like I wouldn't be surprised. Like Mbappe seems to be doing bits, but I feel like he would have to leave PSG to really get that status.
I think that's the thing, because Messi and Ronaldo, they've obviously, it's one thing to be the best player of a season, but then the fact that they've kept up for so long, and they will continue to do that until they retire, I'd imagine.
It's difficult because like Ronaldo's he's like 36 now, something like that, 35.
I think,
yeah,
so around that anyway. And Messi's 33, 34, I think.
33.
Yeah.
So you're looking at them like they're you know, Ronaldo's probably playing better at this stage than Messi is, and like you can't see them sort of they won't want to sort of start, you know, letting off and not playing as well and just sort of be remembered for their last couple of years. They need to sort of take that when they know it's sort of over and leave it on. In terms of the Haaland and Mbappe, I know you mentioned a couple of names, but if like obviously Haaland and Mbappe, who else do you think could be in that race? Obviously you said Felix, you said Saka. You know, anyone else that you can think of?
There's a few, but I haven't seen enough of them yet. There's like a few that their names are being thrown into the hat at a very young age, but they're not. Then they haven't proven themselves yet. Like Camavinga's a name that's been thrown into a lot of hats. Even Greenwood's. I don't think Greenwood will get to that level, but he's a very good for his age. Who else is there? Even players like Rodrigo and stuff like that, all they need to do is have like that one season where they just break through and then they could just spiral up from there.
Yeah, it just depends, like, because one player could have an insane season and that could change their whole career. Like if Jadon Sancho just had an insane season, that could change everything, but you just don't know.
Yeah,
but I don't think any player will be able to
I think Jadon Sancho is having an amazing season. He just needs to go somewhere else to prove it.
Dortmund aren't having a good year this year, are they?
No,
not great.
They're like 6th, I think, which isn't good enough for them. You know, they're not. They're just about edging through in the Champions League at the moment against Sevilla.
Yeah.
But you know, you can't see them sort of doing too much. Like,
Other players, obviously, Ansu Fati's another one.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even like players like De Jong and stuff as well. I think De Jong's class for his age as well.
Yeah.
He could be one of the best midfielders in the world at some point in his career.
Yeah, even people like Michael Obafemi.
Never know.
What a guy.
He was on the list.
Or Jesse Lingard. Jesse Lingard as well. He's a young prospect.
What was the thing? I think it was like one of the best youngsters in the top 50 best youngsters in the world or something. Obafemi was on the list last year.
He's definitely on the list this year.
Oh, God. Okay, so moving on to talking about Fantasy Premier League. So looking at sort of who you put in your teams, is there anyone specific that you've gone for this week to add in?
I have not had a good week last week. How many points did I get? I got 49 points last week. I did not do well.
I know this week is double game week for Leeds and Southampton. That's what I've based my team around. Not Southampton, because I'm never backing them against Chelsea. I'm not backing them. I refuse. So I've backed Leeds. I've gone Bamford captain. That's the way I've gone.
Yeah.
Any other mentions that could be in there?
I think Bamford is a good one. I haven't actually done any changes this week yet, but I think because realistically you're going to want to put a Leeds player in, and I guess Bamford's probably the one who's most likely to get the most points.
Yeah, like him and Rafinha. Rafinha is the other one.
Oh yeah,
the Brazilian guy. Them two, and potentially a defender, someone like Alioski or Dallas, who play pretty much every game. They're probably good shouts. The thing is with Leeds, they could go and get 0 points even from like 2 games. They could just mess everything up. But it's personally for me, I'm risking it. I'm probably going to have at least 2, maybe 3 Leeds players by the time the game week starts. Have you gone for any Saints ones, or are you going to?
No, I'm definitely going to take Saints players out of my team rather than them.
You can see Ings getting a couple goals though.
Ingsy
could score. I just don't think he's really worth it on fantasy football anymore because he's 8.4 or something like that.
Yeah, its value's gone up so much that it does make it difficult. But...
Yeah, so I don't really know if he's worth having in your team when you can have.
Yeah,
you can have much better strikers probably for value.
Yeah, one other player that I've gone for is obviously Bruno. I go for him most weeks, but him against Newcastle is usually a good shout. He'll probably get a goal or assist.
Yeah, I've got Bruno in my team. Also got Rashford in my team as well.
I think I do as well. Yeah.
I mean, Rashford and Bruno are probably bound to score, I'd imagine. I mean, with the results we said earlier as well.
Yeah,
who else is there to score?
Yeah, you'd have thought so anyway.
I'm just having a look at the league now, and Louis, you've got a lot more points than me and Luke do.
I'm doing all right, but the last few weeks I've had a shocker. I was first for ages, and
you're third out of 11. Yeah. I'm 9th. Luke's 10th.
No, I'm not doing well. But I just forget to do it every week.
Yeah. I try and make it a habit to just remember, and that's why I've always done all right. Except for last week when I forgot to change my team. That was a disaster.
See, Harry triple captain Matthew Lowton.
It's ridiculous. I put Emi Martinez on the bench. I would have brought him in as well. I was so upset. I had Lloris instead. Obviously, I'm not going to have him in against Man City. So
he got 12 points.
So I had that on the bench, which wasn't ideal. But anyway, we got 62 last week, which is respectable.
That's much better than what I got. I don't know. Is there anything else to do for football to talk about?
I was going to bring up earlier, but the Arsenal Aubameyang hat-trick was his first game back. What do you think of? Do you think he'll continue to form?
I guess he played yesterday in the Europa League. Didn't have such a good game, missing an open goal from about 6 yards.
I didn't see the highlights of the results or anything.
But those sort of players, they get into positions a lot to score goals, and they will score goals.
Yeah.
Getting the hat trick's probably going to help his confidence a lot. So, I'd imagine in the league he'll come back. Who have they got next week? We predicted it. Oh, they've got Man City.
Yeah.
It's not the nicest game to go back to.
No.
But I think he will. He'll come back some point. He's not done. He's a very good player.
Yeah.
So
he's definitely still their best player.
Yeah, a lot of people are doubting him because of how big the contract he got. So people are saying that they don't think he'll still have the drive. But
it does happen with a lot of people, though.
Yeah, but I don't blame. If that did happen to him, I wouldn't blame him for it because it's just a natural thing, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
But,
definitely.
Yeah. One more thing we could talk about is the whatever podcast which we're going to be doing. So that's a podcast we're all going to be doing, which is just basically just going to be about anything pretty much.
About whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
It's just like a daily roundup of the week.
Yeah.
Probably a good way to put
it.
Just talk about different things. Luke, you.
Yeah, literally anything we'll see in the week, we'll jot down and we'll talk about it at the end of the week or at the start of the following week. Literally anything. Could be sports, could be just world news in general, or weird music, movies, whatever. Literally whatever.
Yeah. So we'll link that in the description.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thanks for having me on. Sure.
Good.